Hi guys, welcome back to my channel if you're new here. My name is Abby and today I'm going to be doing some repotting. I have quite a few water propagations that are looking a little bit questionable. They're the ones that I actually traded a couple of months back. The roots are really good on them and I don't want to jeopardize the health of the plant by being lazy essentially, but also being quite disorganized. And before we get into the video, I just wanted to talk to you about a little project that me and my husband have been working on. We have recently bought a 150-year-old stone Yorkshire cottage, and the place is in need of a lot of love and a lot of attention. It's got no central heating, needs a full rewire, needs everything taken back to stone and restoring fully. Everything you can imagine, everything needs to happen. So we're documenting our journey, and we have a new YouTube channel called Our Yorkshire Cottage, which I will link down in the description below and up here in the card somewhere for you to easily access it. We also have a little documentation of the renovation project on an Instagram account as well, which I'll link here. So if you do want to follow on with that kind of journey with us, then make sure you're subscribed and following us on Instagram. And similarly, I will probably be doing like house renovation videos here and there on this channel, more of an update vlog style rather than hardcore renovation videos, which might show on the other channel. So again, if you like that kind of thing, make sure you follow, and I really hope you enjoy this video. But being the disorganized, organized person that I am, everything plant related apart from one small box is at our new house. So I have some old BioBizz soil, and I have a self-watering pot with some Lechusa pon, which was kindly given to me to try out by Grow Tropicals. So that's all I've got. I've obviously got a pot and stuff like that, but not like the right size, because these are just cuttings. And then I also want to show you my philodendron golden dragon, which I kind of have fallen out of love with, would you believe? Like, this has literally been a wishlist plant for me for like years. But it's looking really, it's very top heavy. It doesn't have anything to climb on, and it's kind of just like flops down and it looks like a mess. So I'm going to be reviving the situation with that. And I think what I'm going to do is cut the top cuttings, propagate it, root them, and then eventually put them back in the same pot, so it's more of a bushy plant. But I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Also, if it seems like super dark in here, it is. Like, I have my lights on, like my down lights in the apartment. I've got my grow light on from Grow Star over there. I don't have the main grow light on, and honestly, I say this every time, that grow light just adds so much light to this room. But if I have it on, it's backlit and it looks a bit funny and it washes me out and you can't see my face. So we're dealing with this at the moment. So I do apologize for that. Like I said, I'm so organized that I'm disorganized, that my tripod, and I have like a grow, I have like a light thing, like a circle light for my tripod, which I bought for last winter. That's at the house as well. So it's just me sat in the dark, so I do apologise for the quality. So this is the self-watering pot that I got from Grow Tropicals. It comes with the Lechusa pon, like I said. So this is something I've never used before. And they asked if I wanted to try it out, and obviously it was a firm yes, but I'm a bit nervous because I've never used something like this before. So on the inside, you've got this kind of like cord, which is where the water kind of sucks up, which makes it the self-watering kind of like aspect of this this device. And then obviously you've got your little meter here, which tells you how much water's left. It says min and max on it, which is really handy because your water reservoir is under here. So if you're running low on water, it will tell you to basically fill it up. And that's as simple as that. He actually explained it really, really well to me when he was giving it to me. But that was some time ago. And I forgot. But it does come with an instruction manual, and they're literally the most basic like instructions with pictures. So I can't go wrong, right? But yeah, I'm going to use this today because one, it's like I said, I'm limited for what I can use, and two, because I really want to try it. I've been wanting to try this for ages. Like, my friend Kirsty gave me a bag of this ages ago, because she ordered loads and she knows I'm into houseplants, and she's like, have you tried it? You should try it. So I've got another bag of this, but I've never, and no, you don't need to have a self-watering pot for it. Obviously they do go hand in hand, but people have this in just normal pots with like plenty of drainage, and they do really well. So I do have one of these, but I've just been nervous, but I hear it's really easy. I don't know, I don't like change. I do not like change. So yeah, I'm gonna use that. And as you can see, it's like quite a big pot, well, medium size. And I don't really have a lot of plants I need to repot in this. And I was waiting for the perfect one. The plants or the cuttings that I need to pot are just cuttings. Their root system's small, so that's not ideal. So what I'm thinking is repotting an actual plant in this, and then using the leftovers in a little thing that I can find. Like a pot would be ideal, but I don't really have many at hand. Using something that I can repurpose as a pot, and using the pon for the cuttings. And I might just put all the cuttings in together, which I know is like a bit, for someone with like OCD and like I like things to be the way they are, it's it feels a bit wrong doing that. But I've got a pot of Hoya, which are just bits and bats and like a bit of a pick and mix of Hoya, and it looks really pretty. So I'm not sure, but let me just show you the plants or the cuttings that I'm looking at repotting today. So this is what I'm repotting today. This was rinsed out poorly yesterday, but I rinsed this out yesterday, and I filled it up with new water. You see how many roots there are? They're like really, really happy. I've got a Monstera something in there. I've got an Epipremnum normal version in there. I've got an Epipremnum Cebu Blue in there, which has given me the cutest new leaf, which is tiny, but there's another one coming out, which is what has prompted me to pot this up. Plus, I'm a big believer in not leaving your cuttings in water for too long, because they become dependent on the water, the transfer to soil or whatever substrate I find personally more challenging. And they have been in water for a long time, as you can tell. So I was going to pot them up like this, and my idea is, like, this is my Philodendron Brantianum, which you've seen before. I cut this not so long ago, and I was going to pot it back in here because it's a really, really nice plant, and it was just one, like, growing, like, it was just one stem. I wanted it kind of like more substantial. But when I cut it, I got in conversation with the person that I swapped these for, so I gave her the top cuttings and then got some of these for them. So this is just to gain a single standard thing. It's growing well. It's got another new growth point coming through. So this is a new growth point, but part of that new growth point, there's another new growth point. Like, it's growing really quick. The last leaf is okay. It hasn't damaged itself, which it tends to do. This one, I caught it yesterday, and I just put it under some warm water, and it kind of went ping, and it just like let itself loose, which is good, because I have a feeling that that one's not going to be damaged. But what I'm getting at is, this is it's got a really good, I don't even know what this is. I don't know. This is really thin plastic. I can't imagine I would have, I don't even know what this is. It's basically got holes in the bottom, slits down the side, and it's been in this for a while. It doesn't need to be in something like this. I could put this in here, although it's a bit big, but the root system is quite substantial, but maybe it's doing so well because it is quite compact. My idea anyway was to put this in here and then these in here with the pon. But it's a case of, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? And this is growing. I don't know what to do. This is why I don't like repotting, because I have to make such tough decisions. What would you guys do? I wish you could tell me. So yeah, I'll have a think about it and I'll get back to you in a second. Okay, so I'm being really indecisive and I'm going to come back to that decision later, but it needs to be done, so it will be done today. But this is my philodendron golden dragon. It's heavy. It's like really, it's wild. It's the perfect word for it. So this is the longest strand. It's extremely long. It used to stand up on its own, which is quite impressive. The leaves are okay, but they're getting smaller. It's got nothing to climb on. I have like 3 moss poles I can use, but keeping in mind I'm moving a lot of plants to a house soon, like our cottage reno, that the downstairs is out of action. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see. We've taken it back to stone. There's no insulation in the floors and the walls. There's no plaster, there's literally nothing. It's like a shell of a stone cottage downstairs. Upstairs is hit and miss. We've taken some walls off. Basically, it's cold. It's very cold. It's like 5 degrees. It's really cold. I have one room where we have our like temporary bedroom, which will soon become our full-time bedroom once we eventually move out of our flat. And my plants are going to have to all be in one room with us, because it's where it's warm. And I'm trying not to give myself more to work with. So if I use a climbing moss pole, I'm then a bit buggered for space, you know, like if this is a smaller plant, I can put it on the top shelf, which isn't gonna hit the ceilings, and I just feel like it's easier to work with, so I'm not gonna give it a moss pole, is basically what I'm saying. So yeah, I basically, I'm gonna take a few cuttings and I'm going to water propagate them, allow them to grow. By the time they grow roots, it should be kind of in time for us to be moving. We hope to be in the cottage in a month. So I've said this before, paying 2 of everything is not fun for anyone, especially when you're trying to save for a full house reno. So I think that would give me enough time for me to not have to deal with more propagation bottles, and I can just put them back in here. And I'm hoping the leaves will become a little larger, because like there's so many growth points in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think there's about 7. And this is one of the newest leaves. Can you see? It's tiny. And this is like what sold it to me on the Facebook post, this leaf. You know, like these kind of mature leaves, like this leaf. And it was £20, and looking back on it, I think I remember seeing like thrips or something on it. So it was treated and it kind of was quarantined, and then it was just put on top of my wardrobe and it was left there. So I'm going to try and sort that out now with you. I think my shears are at the house as well, so we're just going to use normal scissors and it will be totally fine. These stems aren't that thick. Okay, so I've got my trusty kitchen scissors, sent to my husband because he said they're for the kitchen only, and I never used them for the kitchen. So I'm going to take my cuttings, put them in here. I've just put some BioBizz fertilizer in the water. I don't often do that, I do it when I remember. I can't say I've seen a massive difference, but BioBizz just in general, I think is really good. I've done a review on it before and I really do like using it. So put that in there, and I'm just going to get cutting away, and you'll see, oh, I've got broken leaf here. It was tiny anyway, but okay. I'm going to start cutting away, and I'm going to put all of the cuttings in one old gherkin glass, just so they're all together and I can keep an eye on them, and the roots grow together. If they get entangled, it's not going to be a problem. I can just repot them in there. So I'm going to crack on. that's all I'm going to do actually. I didn't take that many cuttings. I just took that one long strand just to make it shorter and more manageable. So I'm just going to let them grow. You also saw me cut just like what we call a wet stick, so literally just node. I always just chuck them in there because if something happens with them, amazing. If it doesn't, there's no harm. And then I'll just put this back in situ, which is on top of my my wardrobe. And yeah, so that's the plant at the moment. It's a little less overwhelming because it looks less like, you know, please help me. This is a massive leaf here, but it's literally like a chunky guy, and it's all one. I am noticing it's bending, like it's quite squishy at the base. Well, they all are, to be honest, but that one's exceptionally squishy, and it's because it's leaning on the pot and it's starting to like bend and misshape. So I do wonder how we're going to go with that one. It's quite badly damaged, which was pre my ownership. So I don't think it would be the end of the world if that one does go, just because of the weight of it. You know, it's like kind of causing itself a problem. But other than that, I'm quite happy with that. I think that's fine. I'll put that back. And then, like I said, when these grow roots, some people do this before they root, but I have never done so and probably won't. But when they root, I'm just going to put them back towards the back of the pot and just to fill it out a bit more. It looks absolutely crazy. There's so much going on with this plant at the moment. But yeah, I will now go back to tackling the pon Brantianum decision. So I have made part of a decision. This size pot is good for these to go in. So this is my Syngonium wet stick trial. Some of them have worked, some of them haven't. So this one's worked. This is part of the same one. This one is producing mostly white leaves, so they're dying, which is fine. And then that one is part of the same one, which is teeny tiny. So I'm going to pot these up and put them in with Mama Plant, which is my amazing Syngonium. A lot of it is staying like the aurea, is that what they call it? The aurea colour, so like the yellowy colour rather than the albo white. You see, that's not a new leaf anymore. This isn't a new leaf. This is like really yellow. Yeah, it's weird. Like that's a green on green, which I think is really, really cool. But the colouring on this is like so unusual. You see how some of them are like white and some of them are yellow. But I love this so much. This is one of the original leaves. So yeah, I think I'm going to pot those just simply, and I can tell you, if I take this out like this, it's a little bit resistant. I was like, it's not going to come out. This one comes out really easily. It's practically living on the top of the soil. I feel like the soil was a bit too barky for something so small. So that's that tiny, tiny, tiny little leaf has that one root. So that's just going to go in there. And this soil and this soil is different. This soil is my BioBiz stuff. This soil is actual decent stuff. But it likes this one. It's finding it. So I'm not going to go about and repot it now. And the reason I put them in small ones is because the root systems were so small. It wasn't worth putting in a larger pot at the time when I did it. But also they had... they were wet sticks and they had water propagated, just submerged in water, just like I showed you with the dragon, Philodendron golden dragon. So I needed to keep the soil a lot more moist than I would want to the mother plant. So that's why I didn't just put it straight into the big pot, but I'll just dig that out. I'm really surprised. So this looks like old rot. This was part of the stem. So the stem, I leave quite a substantial amount either side where possible. And the reason being is because if it does rot, you're less likely going to actually sacrifice the plant and it dying, because it's not going to touch the nodes. So the top one is fine, it's dried off, but the bottom one looks like it's old rot, and I'll show you if I can. You're probably not going to be able to see that. I'm very sorry about the lighting in this video. So yeah, that's just come off, but this is the root. That's the root for this, which is insane. So it's a good job. Kind of cleared a space here. But I think I'm going to take this one back out. He needs to go in last because he's so small. And I'm going to literally just make a hole like I would in sand. When I was at the beach when I was a kid, I'm just going to make a hole. I'm just going to shove this in there. Honestly, it's really not difficult. It's not a glamorous thing. Just shove the root in. I have a problem with not doing it deep enough sometimes, and then the roots kind of like find them way out of the top again, which is a bit annoying, but pretty sure that's fine. And I can curl it. It's a good job I hoovered just before this, isn't it? It's totally worth it. That will go in there. So I've done that one, and I'll show you the final one once I put the baby back in, which is totally going to die soon. Okay, so that's us done with the Syngonium, and I've created availability for another pot. So this is it now. You can see the baby is here, and then there's another one down there, but let's know, it makes sense for it to be with its mother. So there's that one. So that leaves me with this. I'm gonna get a Tupperware or something I can put this in, and then I can address that. I'm just gonna use this as a vessel to catch this. So all of the soil's in there. And then what I do with these, because I use really thin vessels, that is absolutely fine. It's not caused a problem whatsoever. But I just usually pull them out really delicately, but they came out really, really easily, luckily. Makes sense to be lazy and just do this, because then they would fit. But I kind of want to take and check out. Right, let me just see if I can do this. Got lots of secondary roots on here, can you see? Like absolutely loads of secondary roots, which is when the main root has another little root coming off it. So this root here is for one of the cuttings of the Cebu Blue. That is a new leaf, that tiny like fluorescent one. And then there's another one next to it. It's not massive, but the next one next to it. So that's a Cebu Blue. And then this was this one was the other Cebu Blue. Oh. Okay, so that's the other one. It's kind of grown a bit sidewards, which is fine. There could potentially be a little bit of rot on there. Yeah, a little bit. So good timing to take this out. So I've got that off now. So that's the other Cebu Blue. So I want to put them together. I was thinking about doing the Monstera, which actually doesn't have roots like I thought it did. Can you see? They're not massive. It's got another little bit of rot on it. That's a dry root. I could do with that being on something tiny and climbing, because you see how the roots are, they're aerial roots, but because they've been in a glass of water that has had lots of humidity in there, the aerial roots have really been encouraged to grow out. So there's that one. And then the last ones were these. So this is the chunky guy. This is the Epipremnum, which is the non-Cebu blue version. It's just the green version. It's so pretty though. So I could put that in there, which makes perfect sense, but then I need to find little pots for those, and I don't have little pots little enough to deal with that. But yeah, let's just do one thing at a time. I'm swaying towards opening the pond and putting that in something that I've made, but it needs to have adequate drainage, obviously, because those two are meaningful to me. Obviously this is as well, but I really want to make sure those two survive. So I filled up the bottom of that. I'm so sorry if this is boring for you guys. I don't mean it to be, but some people enjoy watching repot videos, and I do, to be honest. It kind of encourages me to do my own repotting, but I never actually do it. I just watch other people do it and think, oh, I should repot my own plants. But this is something I used to take a lot of, like, I used to, when things were just busy, work was just crazy, I used to, like, the sun, it would be summer usually. I don't often do this in winter unless I have to, like now. But the sun would be shining. I'd be able to be near the window with having a nice like drink. And I would just really enjoy it and take my time. But you know, when it feels like a chore, like you feel like I have to do that because my plants need it, rather than I want to de-stress and do something different. It kind of feels a bit less enjoyable sometimes when you have to do it and there's just so much other stuff going on. You think, I really don't have the time. But that's being a bad plant parent, as they call it. So that's that one. That's the Epipremnum, the green form. Really pretty. I really like it. It's got new growth. So yeah, I'm going to run some water through that. So I'm not sure what I want to do. Kind of want to put them together, and I feel like because this is so small, I should put this together, and then I can deal with the roots when they get big, but put these together in the pond. So I just need to go find something that I can repurpose for this little project. Okay, so I'm having one of those days where I need to do something, but in order to do that, I need to do something else. And this is the problem when you don't have enough, resource. So this is my alocasia black velvet. I believe it went into dormancy. I don't think I killed it, but this is my alocasia black velvet. So, oh, it's got babies. You see, there's a little bulb there and a little bulb there. I'm going to take this soil off and put it in a bag and label it, so I can repot this next year. So there are the leaves off. Yeah, I'm going to repot that next year and just store it away over the winter, freeing this up, which is a small medium pot. But I'm going to move my Hoya australis, which is really taken off. Like, this is all new. This has kind of grown a new branch. Yeah. So I'm going to repot that into that, and then I'm going to use, no, I don't think that's big enough for that. Oh, flip. I don't know what. I've had a long day. I kind of feel like it is, but I'd have to. What do we think? That's one route. I think it's fine. I'm gonna carry on with what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna check for other bulbs in here before I tip it all out. I don't think there are any. It's a nice mix as well. So I'm gonna put that in there. There's a lot of sand in here. What was in here before? The alocasia. Yeah, this was an alocasia mix actually from So ninja. Yeah, no other bulbs, so that's fine. They can go in there. The mix is very dry, but I haven't watered it because I knew that went into dormancy. Completely ruined the Hoya in the meantime. This hasn't been repotted in a year and a half. It's a tiny little bit tight. Okay, so it's really dry, don't judge me. It's like extremely dry. Healthy though. So that's my Hoya. I'm going to put it in here. Oh, it looks so cute. And I said I was going to use pond for those, didn't I? Can I do that? I think I can do that. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to pay really close attention. And what I do if something doesn't look like it's going well is I just take it out and then put it back in water if it's a water propagation, and then I just kind of give it time and reassess the situation. So I'll do that. So this goes back in there, and then I just fill it in. I know I've said this is an allocation mix and I'm using it for a Hoya, but that's what we're working with. And I honestly, this is one of the very few plants I left to die. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. I was like, someone buy this. I'm sick of it, but it didn't die. It will be fine in this mix is what I'm saying. It's a trooper. And then I fell completely back in love with it. So it goes to show, don't act rationally, even though that wasn't a rational decision. So that's now in there, and I really love it. It's so cute. And sometimes I like to kind of bring it back on itself, just so it's kind of got more support, but I'll figure that out later. So, oh, that looks really cute. That was nice and easy. This was my Hoya Australis. No, it's not. It's not an Australis. It's a Hoya Crimson Queen. It's definitely a queen because it's wearing the crown, because the variegation is on the outside of the leaves. That's what Wild Fern taught me in one of her videos. So I'm going to rinse this out and we're going to start fresh with the pon. Okay, so that's now been washed out. I'm going to now use this new substrate for the first time. I'm not using my self-watering pot, which is a bit sad, but I don't know what to put in there. I really do need to repot this Brantianum, and it needs some support, like physical support. But I don't want to risk putting it in a big pot and it dying, because I really like that. Some of these, like the Hoya, the less special ones to me, I do find that I'm a bit more riskier with them, and they always, like, because they're more common, they tend to be hardier, and they are less common because they are hardier and they're easier to propagate, to keep, to sell, to transport, to hold. Do you know what I mean? They're just easier to look after, which I could have just said at the beginning, but they are. Whereas the Brantianum, I know I've seen such cheap prices for it at the moment, and it's only philodendron. It's not like a special requirement one, but I don't know, there's something about it I really don't want to risk with it. With that said, I saw a 3-leaf cutting of this, of a Brantianum, and it was about this kind of size. I saw that on Rich Rainforest for $12.99, if anyone's interested. I actually was going to buy another one. I was going to buy another massive Alocasia Black Velvet. The leaves certainly look big. And that was £10. And then they had a gorgeous Syngonium. I forget the name of it, but it was like a really deep, dark pink variegated one. I thought it was quite a rare one. It was $12.99. And honestly, had it in my basket. I've been looking at that plant for like maybe about half a year, because he does have them in, and I didn't do it because I just felt silly for buying things when I should really be saving my money. I haven't bought plants in ages, I don't think. I can't really remember. I think it was August actually, which is quite a while ago. I'm really nervous. Why am I so nervous? I feel like if I do my repotting like I normally do, the roots are gonna get crushed. You know? And I'm sorry if this really upsets people, mixing two plants. It honestly would me if I was watching this, but I kind of feel like I don't have a real big choice, as I keep saying. I'll put that towards the edge. Okay, so this is what we're working with. I've just placed them. They obviously need to have some of the pond poured in. I'm going to come back and be like, why is there rocks all over the floor? Like, it's not rocks, it's substrate. Do you know what? If I saw a bag, if I was given a bag of this years ago, I'd be like, thanks for the gravel. Like, but now I'm like really intrigued by it. I've done that. I am so nervous. I don't know why. I'm so nervous. It looks really good, and I already love it though, because it's holding its weight up, because it's obviously like gravel essentially, and it's just like rocks, so that's not flopping over. I really love that. That's so pretty. Obviously this pot makes it amazing. It's an anthropology one, but that looks so beautiful. And the aerial root I've tried to stick in, and there's there's 3 new growth points there, like these tiny ones, which you can't really see here. That looks so cute. Oh, I love it. And the Cebu blue is on the other side. So yeah, I have done my task, mission completed. I still didn't get to use that self-watering pot though. I might go find something for it, because I really like using that pond already. I just hope the plants like it. So I have decided what I'm going to do with the self-watering pot is actually put my my Maranta plant in there. Everyone on the back of that video said that it's in a too large a pot. It shouldn't be in terracotta, even though it's a really thick glazed terracotta. I don't think it's the same kind of like qualities as a terracotta, and put it in plastic. So I'm going to put it in plastic in a self-watering pot, check out the roots and just see what's going on in there. But I'm going to do it off camera, just because I've seen how long I've been talking for, and it's been quite a while, and this part might be incredibly boring for you, because I'm just going to check out the roots, snip off all the dead leaves and stuff. So what I'm saying is I'm going to park this video here. I'll do some B-roll after, just so you can see what it looks like in the self-watering pot. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. So it was definitely a watch me chat to myself while I repot my plants, but I really hope you enjoyed it. Sometimes I just like not watching videos. I just put it on the side of the kitchen while I'm making dinner, and hopefully this video is one of those for you. It's not too boring for you. And I'm sorry about the quality. I will do better. I will need to buy my own tripod, so it's constantly here. But I really hope you enjoyed that. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.